this morning, holding my right mind. Lord, held my head, and I have my strength. You know what? I'm just recounting of the day that the Lord has made. I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed. I tell you, I'm so blessed. Yeah, I'm blessed, 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 that I live, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, yes I am, I'm blessed, 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 got my health, I'm blessed, got my strength, I'm blessed, got my hand, I'm blessed, able to wave, I'm blessed, got my leg, I'm blessed, able to walk, I'm blessed, 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 got food to eat, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, so blessed, I'm blessed, so blessed, I'm blessed, so blessed, I'm blessed, I'm walking, I'm blessed, I'm talking, I'm blessed, singing, I'm blessed, I'm praying, I'm blessed, Lord, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, I'm blessed, thank you, Jesus.
All right, all right, all right, all right, all right. Welcome to our community awareness talk show. And also, we want to let you know that on this talk show, the opinions of the guests does not necessarily mean that those are the views of the host, of the views of the platform, but they are the views of the person that's giving them to you. And we do have our guests in the room, and we're in the room. Right now, you're looking at our title on the top, and also I did do some invites. I don't know if Mike did some invites, but I did some invites, and I'm gonna go out here on the Facebook page and make it where people can do some inviting. People can come in because we need y'all to get up in this room. We need y'all to get up in this room because Brother Mike has something he needs to. I gotta turn that down. Brother Mike has some things that he needs to have you all to know. Call your parents. Mike takes your parents and your sisters and all of them and tell them they can get right on their front TV and they can put it on YouTube and they can pull up ZRW melodies and they can look at it right there in their living room and see you just like you are on national TV. Just like you on CNN or one of those. So
Come
that's
on, okay. Let
all they
me,
have to do is pull it up on YouTube. They can pull up ZRW melodies and then they can go to the live and it will come up. So we're gonna give the people a couple minutes to get on up in here. Happy New Year's to you, Mike.
happy New Year 2025. 2025. You got to be more alive in 2025.
Yeah, we gotta be more alive and we gotta do some striving. And I told people not only am I gonna do some striving, but guess what? I'm expecting manifestation. Everything that I have put my hands to the plow of, if it didn't work before, it's gonna work now. It's gonna work now. It's going forward. It's going forward.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We're gonna have some changes in this community. We're gonna get it right. Somebody said we're gonna get it right in 25. President and worried about these new governors that's cutting everything that they can cut. Hallelujah. I talked to another man that was a military man earlier, Mike. Uh,
Uh-huh.
that was a military man earlier. And I went on to tell him how some of these people worried about the new president, DT, and worried about this and worried about that, and talking about might go through a Great Depression, we might go through this, and this might happen. It's like they running scared of one little man. And so I had to go ahead on and tell them, see, one day I'm going to get there, and pretty soon I'm going to get there. But shoot, I done been so far at the bottom of the barrel that, baby, that don't even faze me. And I ain't been as far as some has been. But just looking back in history and listening to my mama, even though she thought she was going to go crazy when Katrina came, because her air was out for a couple of weeks. But I can remember when she told me, and I can remember being young and being up in the house that my grandmother had built when her father died. When her father died, but I can remember seeing the little 3 room, 4 room house that all four of the children and my grandmother stayed in before they got over to the big house. And
Right.
before she got in the luxuries of this central air and all of this stuff, and she made it.
She made it.
And she
She
made
made
And so I told him if we have to eat some beans out of a can, if we have to do a grill and put out there, if we have to live in one big room, the whole family, we can survive.
it. We can survive now. We can survive.
And we tell us since we got this dark skin, uh, I'm not an African American because I ain't never seen Africa. I'm an American, but I don't mind black and I don't mind color since you're a little shade lighter than me, and there's some a little shade lighter than you. I don't mind that. I don't have to be an African American. I'm just colored or black because I got dark skin. So what's the big deal? We got to keep changing all these names. What's up with that, Mike?
Man, I tell you, we just need to keep it one way because when you look at it, we all are colored. If you look in the crayon box, that box has a lot of different colors in it. Brown, black, purple, white. That's a color. So we all are colored. So, but I
Uh,
tell you, and we all are Americans. So, no matter how you identify yourself, it's just you're right. We need to quit changing the way folks identify. Some want to be called African American, some want to be called black. I'm telling you right now, I'm black. I was
that's
born black. I'm gonna die black. So,
okay.
and that's just what it is.
Well, before we go any further, Mike, I guess we'll do a prayer. We'll do a
Yeah,
prayer
yeah.
already.
Start us off with one real quick.
Father God, in the name of Jesus, we thank you for this opportunity, God. God, we thank you for these lights, God. We thank you for this internet, God. We thank you for this platform. God, I thank you for this young man, God, that you have graced to be in my presence, God. Oh, God, I appreciate him, God. I admire him, God. I salute him as being the military retired that he is, God. But, God, I thank you, God, that he didn't just go and retire and said that I got mine, let everybody else get theirs. I done come through the storm, I done come through the rain. I worked hard and I'm in a place now. Me and my family is faring well in certain areas that I don't have to be struggling and worrying. So why am I worried about what's going on over here? Why am I worried about what's going on over there? But he decided to come back home. And then he decided to come back home. He has decided to come, not just settle in all the beautiful places that he traveled and all the beautiful towns and cities that he saw. But he decided he wanted to come back to little old Hammond area and make a difference in his society, to make a difference in his community, to be a mouthpiece for the people, God, to be a mouthpiece for the ones that are treated unjustly or unjustly. God, he wanted to come back and make a difference, God, be a servant. And God, we appreciate him for that. And we thank you for that. God, and we ask you, Lord, that you will continue to keep the angels kept around him and his family and his life, God, as he stand out and stand up and speak out and speak up, God, because we know that that's not an easy journey. And we know that can sometimes be a tedious and dangerous journey. But God, he's not afraid, God. And even if he is, he put it in your hands, God, that you would shepherd over him and watch over him and help him to get the job done. And we know he get weary sometime. I heard him say it has been 6 years he can pass the torch. But God, he's still yet young and he's still strong, and there's a lot of work left in him. So God, build him up while he might be torn down. In those days, God, that he feel like just throwing it to someone else that's probably not going to be as dedicated, probably not going to have the heart of the people. God, we ask you that you would strengthen him in those times and in those days, God, that he can continue to carry on. And God, as he give us this information today, I'm sure it's something very important because him and I have talked a couple weeks ago and he was ready to come on and greet your people and let your people know what he's trying to do. Let his people know what is going on in this community. And when we say our people, we mean all people. We mean all creeds, all colors, everybody, all levels of education. God, we remain even those that are incarcerated, God, those that have did things they shouldn't have, those who have been falsely accused, those who have just been unalive for no good reason at all, God. He's coming and he's standing in the gap and letting you know what's going on, that you might be able to do what you need to do to help as he tried to do this as a leader. But it takes a village to do these things. So, God, we just said thank you. And God, I thank you
Thank
for
you.
me the will and the want to be a part and want to bring it to the people and want to stand up against whatever needs to be stood up against and be for whatever needs to be done right. In Jesus' name, amen and amen.
Amen. Amen. What a powerful, powerful prayer that was. I tell you, powerful and much needed, much needed. And I thank you. And I'm always happy to be here with you, my girl, the princess of radio. I'm telling you, I don't know. Listen, you always got something going on.
Yes,
You
sir.
here, you're there. I see your post. You're in Mississippi, you're in Baton Rouge, you're in New Orleans. I'm like, man,
Help, Lord.
does she ever take a rest and take a break? She's everywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Trying to get it done. Trying to get it done.
I hear you. I hear you.
So,
Uh, did
the ladies.
Tom?
Oh, go ahead. Ask me
Did you
what you.
get in touch with Chris?
I text her and I just text her the platform. So I don't know. She did not respond, but Christy is very busy. But a lot of times she likes to. I did reach out to Miss Jane, and she said that she hadn't been feeling well. So we're gonna pray for her. I should pray for her because she's so active in the community too.
Yeah,
And I would have reached out to Brother George Perkins, but his reception at his home is so bad, he would have to be planned for it. He wouldn't have.
yeah. And I just want to, just community awareness, and I know people are, the weather has shifted and changed, and people are getting ill. I think for the last couple of days, the hospital's been pretty packed with people
Yes,
with various illnesses, flu, pneumonia, so forth. People, we need to protect ourselves, and we need to
most definitely.
increase our yes. So
Yes.
please, because some of this stuff is taking people out, and the flu just ain't the flu no more.
Now, come
Uh,
on now.
it,
Baby,
you
cold,
know,
it ain't like it used to be. Nothing.
right? I heard somebody said the other day, I got type A flu. I never knew flu had a type A, B, C, D, or E. But it's I know it was different strands, but hey, it's taking people a long time to
True.
recover
Yeah.
from the flu. So people just need to be aware, build their immune systems up,
Right.
um, build their immune systems up during this time, because you don't, a lot of us don't have 2 weeks where we could take off work to be down for various illnesses. So
Right.
please take care of yourself. Yeah,
Right. Exactly.
yeah,
Exactly. Exactly.
yeah.
Yeah. And,
But
mm,
like I say, it's always good to be here. I just want to do a recap of this last election that we had in what was it, November 5th.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, Tuesday, November 5th, where we changed we elected another president, and people, we just have to live with the results of
Help
what
us.
they did do or didn't do during that election. But let me just say something encouraging, along the lines. I know last election cycle in November of what was it, 2023, where we did a parish-wide election with the sheriff, and I mentioned at that particular time
Mm-hmm.
we only had 29.7% of the voter turnout in that particular race.
Yes, sir.
And that was a total of 22,000 people parish-wide that came out for that vote.
Uh-huh.
But for the November 2024 election, the turnout was around, it was some areas, it was a 60%, 70% turnout ratio. So those are pretty good percents. Although in our community, I would love to see our percentile above 85% when we're going out and voting. And that way we could make a difference and have our voices heard and counted. But truly, and people say, "Oh, we're talking about." There's never a time that we shouldn't be talking about voting. In fact, the local NAACP here, we're going to partner with Black Vote Matters. Um, we're going to partner with them, and we're going to get started here shortly
Okay.
um, with building the base of voters here in the parish, so we could affect change. And hold on, my screen is going out. So we could affect change here. So that's one of our plans that we have scheduled to do, to partner with along those lines. So when you look at, and let me just say,
Excuse me.
just real quick, and I'm gonna just go down the line. The last person, let's see, 20. Okay, for the 21st Judicial District, and let me just say, for the 21st Judicial District, where Judge Belser has just, you know, uh, been sworn in as a judge. Now, back in the summertime, when when the legislative body was convening, myself, along with Attorney Vanessa Williams, Attorney Cassandra Butler, Reverend Ronald Valentine, and retired Police Major McGarry, we went over and we lobbied this judge seat that they created in the 21st Judicial District. We lobbied uh, in two committees for a African American judge here in Tangipahoa Parish.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to thank Robbie Carter, Representative Robbie Carter, for putting forth that bill in support to create a minority district, a more minority judgeship. We were able to get it out of the Appropriations Committee and the Governmental Affairs Committee, where we had to testify before the state legislatures on the need of an African American judge. Yeah, but it ultimately failed in the full House. So it made it out of two committees, but it failed in the full House. And somehow, I tell you, you somehow it just turned into a regular judgeship, and that was essentially approved. So we got to go back to the drawing board on that and take a real good look at how that particularly happened.
Okay.
We know it was two bills that was put forth, but we was more lobbying for the need for an African American judge here.
Okay.
And let me just say this real quick. I think the state really got to fix their website when it comes to this numbers, because if you take a, I'm gonna turn this around real quick and I'm gonna show you real quick. Hopefully everybody can see it. I don't know if you can see it right here, where she looked like she won Lyndon McGee with 58%, but they got her defeated and got him elected. So I don't know if that is a typo or snafu or what, but you know, critical eyes look at stuff like that and you go, what's going on with that? But apparently, you know, apparently Judge Belser, he won, but they just need to fix that on up there.
Just help me out because I'm a little confused. So y'all lobbied to get the need for a black judge, right? So did they do like they did when they created that district for Bell Edwards? Which I'm glad that probably that did end up being a non-African American, and we were able to lobby behind him in that position and get him to the governor's office, which more than likely, if a black person had got elected during that time when they made that position, he might not have gotten to the governor's office. So that might have worked itself out. But I can remember that that was supposed to be designed especially for a black candidate. But there were key black folks who made sure they lobbied behind Bill Edwards, and he got the position because of those black people and black faces uh, made sure he got it, which, like I said, the Edwards, we have dealt with them and been a part of them for a long time. So I guess that was good. And he ended up being the governor and did a great job as far as I know. But it was supposed to be for a black person, but some kind of way they eased the white person in there. And then you say y'all went and lobbied, and Bobby Carter, which also ended up in that same position, I think, that Bell Edwards was in, which still I can't understand how we're never getting a qualified black person in that district to run for that office. How we keep camouflaging or doing something to find a white person to put in that position. Because it looked like, okay, I'll go along with Bell Edwards. So we got him in there, we got him to the governor's office. Why come Rodney Carter end up being the one that the key black people in position lobbied behind instead of finding a qualified black person to lobby
Right,
behind?
right. And you know, and that and Renee, that is that's a great question.
Not knocking anything that Robert's done,
Right,
think
right.
that he's a good person and a good whatever he does. But still, if that was originally created for a black person, out of all these black folks that I know got degrees and that are educated, I know we
Yeah,
ought to put somebody up in this parish that was black. It could have
yeah.
been left behind.
Yeah, well, let me just say this. Let me just say this. And you're right. You're absolutely right. That district was created as a majority minority district, so minority it gave minorities a better opportunity to run and be successful at winning at the state level within this area here, because we know voting is so voting is you know, along racial lines, along party lines, stuff like that. And so it gave them an opportunity. Now, what the people of that district decides to do, because there have been a number of qualified African American to blacks to run for that particular position. And those are conversations I know that we're going to have those tough conversations within our community. You know, we have to have those tough conversations, and the conversations has to start Now, not later, when 2 months before qualifying, you see a name drop in the hat, and then you go, and then you see people, I don't like this person because they didn't speak to me in the grocery store. I was at Chili's and they walked past my table. Man, listen, we have to get representation at these levels. So, and it's designed to have voices heard up at the state level. So, and that's what it's all about. That's what it's about. To have
So,
voices heard at the state level. And I'm not saying that Representative Carter, he put forth the bill like we asked him to.
like you
So
said,
he has done the things that we have asked him to do.
however, getting back to, and I know we're gonna go further to some other stuff that you have to say. I'm looking at the clock on the wall and it's ticking. But anyway, getting back to that beginning, I can't remember. I know I was within the election process, and I probably voted for Edwards too because my friend Donna Bell, the late Donna Bell, was behind Bill Edwards. So I'm sure I voted for him uh, just because of that. But what candidate ran against Bill Edwards whenever that position, or did they have a candidate? Did they have a black candidate that ran or that qualified to run or that tried to run? Do you remember? I
I
can't.
could go back and take a look. I'm not sure of the candidate who ran in that particular election, but I know there's been several that ran recently. I think Miss Janice Holland, she was a candidate at one time for that particular seat. Miss Osa Betts Williams, she was a candidate at one time for that particular position, and maybe a couple of more. I can't remember off the top of my head, but I know those two names.
Okay, so
Uh,
when you said about the grocery store stuff, and when you said about this, then the other, one thing that I am finding though, that with our candidates, we do have to be careful, and that's why we have to be kind at all times. Like me, I've been in ministry a long time, and I've been asking different people for donations a long time. But guess what? You being a part of the NAACP and you being a part of my church, um, whether it was because you need favor for elections or whatever. I know you was a candidate for office one time.
yeah,
Whenever I reached out to you from beginning, I don't know if it was after you decided that you was gonna run for office and really don't care, but you was open to support me. So therefore, I don't know what you did for nobody else or how you dealt with other people. But as you said earlier, some of those things do matter within our own color structure. But now I've had some other people that are white people that have been open to support. But most of the time, if they was open, they were people that were in office or running for office or whatever. But now that's another thing that I wouldn't just look at it as of the black people. I'm gonna look at it across the board. If I'm doing what I'm doing and somebody that was white, I asked for their support and they didn't give me their support or they act a certain way, I probably will hold that too. So sometimes we do hold these different things. And then my thing about it, uh, if you want friends, you show yourself friendly. If you want support, you have to be that type of. If you're gonna be in these positions, if you got in your mind, see, that's why you got to be careful how you treat people just in general, whether you're running for office or anything, or whether you in any kind of position at all, you got to be mindful of how you treat people.
absolutely.
I've had people that sing in groups, or I have people that's always doing something and want somebody else to do for them. And when I've asked them for support, they want to know why should they support me? Okay,
Mm,
why should they support me?
mm,
If you the main one want somebody to come to your anniversary or want somebody to buy your CD or want somebody to come to your event or whatever. So people have to be careful how they deal with people and how they treat people. You should be that loving and kind person, but not that same person if they would have got ready to run to the office, they'll be smiling off up in my face. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, when certain people started to run for office in some of these plain past elections that were colored, different people who come up to me because they know I have platforms or they know that I get out there and I'm a go getter and I'm a hustler. They wanted to say, "Oh, Zena this," or "Oh, Renee this." Baby, you don't even speak to me. Now you got a candidate that's running for office. Now you want to come running up in my face. No, it's got a lot of people right now from right here in Hammond and from different places. I watch. They're not my friends on Facebook because they're scared I'm gonna ask them for something because they know I do ministry. They know I do Christian leaders. They know I ask for donations. So guess what? And some of them follow me, but they're not my friends because they're scared I'm gonna ask them for something. But let them be doing something. Let them be doing the same thing that I'm doing now. I bet you that they ain't gonna hesitate to ask me. And then I see some of them go all around me and support different things and different events and different activities and different people. And they walk over me and miss me. But yet still, because of what I do and they know what I do, first time they having a fundraiser, first time they doing something extra, they looking up in my face. Watch how you treat people. And Michael Jackson had a post the other day. Be careful about the bridges you burn, because you might have to. You don't know where you got to go back to.
Absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
and when you
And
how you treat people before you get up there, because some people are gonna remember, and then some people, and I have to ask the Lord to help me with that. Do good to those who despitefully misuse you, and do good anyway, regardless of what people do to you. Because
yeah,
because there's another scripture in there saying, don't give the uh, don't give. I can't remember the other one, but it lets you know don't waste all your goods and your spoils on what ain't worth it and stuff like that. So they do have to be careful, and we do have to get black people who watch how you do things when you're in the lower offices, when before you get ready to run for these bigger offices, because it may not be just the grocery store. It might be their character as a whole or how they have dealt with people. So you need to be. If you're not that person, people don't want you in that office. If you're not that person across the board, like I've watched you even in the NAACP, not just with me, I watch you out and about. You are that person that's reachable. You are that person that's kind. You are that person that wears a smile, even if you faking it, like the other folks do.
I have to fake it sometime now.
That's what I'm saying. Even if you have to fake it, because a lot of these other folks, we know don't care nothing about us, but they gonna fake it and act like they do to get that vote, or they know what they're gonna try to do later on, and they know they gotta be nice now because they're gonna need you later on. And so that's why you find a lot of the white candidates do get the black people's support, because they supported them when they were not trying to be anything. Now they might have had it back in their mind because they smart like that. That one day I might need these folks. But our people seem to miss that. They seem to miss that. They seem not to know that you might want to go here later. You might want to do this later. So I watch who is my friend. I watch who try to become my friend when they think they can use me or when they think they can get something out of me. But they weren't my friend at first, or they weren't talking to me at first. And like I said, a lot of them not even my friend on Facebook. And then we gotta watch that. We got people who are nice and your friend on Facebook, and when you get out in the public at the grocery store, they don't even speak to you. We got
But
a lot
and,
going.
and you're right. And I think that those are conversations, those are tough conversations that we have to have in the community, along with other things that we have to have, so we could try to move forward, find out what the issue is, and try to move forward and push past some of these barriers. Because I'm gonna tell you, there is enough barriers in our way for us to achieve our objectives without us getting in our own way. So we can just get out our own way sometimes, and we can have these tough conversations in love, because you got to do it in love. And we should be able to move forward. There's just too many barriers for us to climb, for us to be, um, you know, fighting against one another with, you know, I would say petty, but for somebody else, it may be a pretty big issue. And so those are the type of conversations that have to be had and hashed out when we're looking at people. I'm not running for anything. I ran one time, and that was enough for me.
I
Uh,
need you again. We might need you in some kind of position again. But we
that
thank you where you're at right now. But you never know. We might. What did you run for, Mike?
I ran for a state rep in District 86 against Representative Nikki Muscarello. And at the time, I think it was Mr. Anderson, David Vial, who ran in that particular race.
Well, see,
And so,
in your case, what probably happened is the same thing that happened with Kenny Harris. You had not been back home long enough. That was what had happened. And see what you're doing now, even though you said you won't run again, but you know God has the last say. But anyway, because it's very expensive to run for office too. But now you're living in this position and you've been in here a while, so you've been established in that position. Now, what would determine if you did find a position that you was qualified to run and that you would want to run, you would have a better chance now. And then it still depends on, I know how you treat me, but it still depends on how you deal with different people across the board.
right.
And
And,
how
and when you're in this position,
live on you and what they gonna say. If they
right,
say that, they said that he's the president of the NAACP, he ain't doing nothing. If they think you ain't did nothing, or they think you didn't come to their restaurant, or they didn't see you step out, or you had respect a person, that you helped, and then other cases you didn't help, then that would determine on what they put out there concerning you. Because um um what is it? Uh, a good name, you know.
yeah,
Sometimes, a good name is gonna go a long way. Now you're gonna
yeah,
always have somebody abuse you regardless, whether you do good or whether you do bad, you're gonna have somebody talk against you. But if you really do well, that's gonna stand a good name. And then influence. Influence lives on too. Just like with your father, influence lives on. So it
right,
it, it just depends. But you have to put yourself in, and sometimes I think you have to start at ground level and move up to go into these various positions and be able to come out on top.
right. I'm more of the position of the more of, I would like to see other people get in these positions and do well, and help them get into positions, and
And
then
that
that
gift of helps. That might
right, right,
what you
right.
do
So,
now. You
so
know what I'm saying? Telling the truth about it. You know,
right.
you
And in
know,
this position, you ain't gonna let me tell you something. You're not gonna please everybody. In fact, you're just not gonna please everybody. So you have to learn to live with. With yourself? Did I do all that I could do in any situation? And so, if you can lay your head on the pillow at night and say, "Yeah, I did all I can do," or "I'm doing as much as I can do," then I'm okay with that. And so, at the end of the day, everybody has to be okay with that. But
right.
I do know this: we do not shy away from holding people accountable. And let me just say, I know a lot of our stuff is not always public, and that's something that as the NAACP president, we do have to do a better job at communicating with the public and letting them know what it is that we're doing, even if we can't let them know all the details at that particular time. We just have to do a better job at communicating. And I'm going to challenge my new board who was just elected with me, new officers who was just elected with me, uh, to be better communicators to the public. And that's why I'm on here. I'll be on the radio, and of course, you've seen me on television talking about different issues. And that's what we're going to do more. We're going to strive to be more transparent in what it is that we're doing and the work that we're doing in the NAACP. And I think that will go a long way for people to understand what it is that we're doing and how hard that we are working for this community.
But sometimes people think that everything dealing with black and white injustice is always the NAACP. Is that true? Would you say that that's a false statement or a true statement? That anytime in the injustice, can you give us some update on the Lionel Jackson situation? I see that he's up and around and he survived and doing pretty well, and he's not in jail or anything. So can you tell me, are they still working that case to?
And let me just say this: everything is not an NAACP case just because it has to do with black and white. There are civil issues. There are, but what we do is if your civil rights have been violated, then that is a NAACP issue. And in the case of Lionel Jackson, let me just say this: we did a lot of work. Now, and I'm saying we, as the community, as Councilman Wales and Christie. As a matter of fact,
I know that.
she's a strong advocate, for what's right. And
Right.
let me just say that was a lot of work. But I'm gonna tell you this: even when we did the protest, um, only thing that we were trying to do um, at that particular time was get the investigation in the hands of other authorities.
Oh,
That's important. You can't investigate yourself. I
okay.
mean, if I investigate myself, I'm gonna be good every time. Look, I'm gonna be like this. I find no fault in myself. I don't find no fault. You know.
Good, good,
So
good, good, good.
so
Yeah.
Hammond Police was wrong, still is wrong for doing an investigation on themselves when they should have turned that over to the state. And let me just say, we went and met with the head state police guy, the colonel, to
Mhm.
try to get the state police to take over this investigation. It did not happen. And see, that's what people don't know. We went to the colonel to get them to try to investigate this. So there's a lot of wheels that turn here that we just have to understand that.
So is it just completely over with?
Well, he has an attorney,
Okay.
and and at the time we were in talks with his attorney, and a lot of times, and let me just say this: a lot of people say, "What the NAACP doing?" Well, let me just say this: a lot of times when people get an attorney, we have to follow the lead of the attorney. And a lot of times the attorney might say, okay, need you to do this. I need you to do that. Because we're boots on the ground and we can bring attention and awareness to whatever. So so just because you don't see what's going on in the background, that does not mean that we aren't working. And like I say, part of the problem is we have to be more transparent with the public. We don't have a lot of communication ways that we can get information out to the public, but I do know this. I do know that on your platform, I'm always welcome. I could text you and say, hey, Renee, I need to come on and talk about X, Y, and Z. and that can happen. And so we're going to be more transparent in that regard.
Good. Okay, so when the sheriff came to one of the meetings with the Second Saturday Awareness and Action Group, they he talked about another incident that happened in Ponchatoula. Is there any leeway going on with that one? I can't remember what it was, but
Well, that in that particular instance, where the sheriff officer illegally went into and entered the young man's house. They was actually looking for somebody else, and he came in through the back door. I mean, through the back window, actually,
the
and
police.
came in. Yeah, the police, and while the young man was answering the door at the police who was knocking on the front door, he was coming in through the back window through the house, and so that was illegal up on his face, where he illegally entered the house. So, and the young man was taken to jail. He spent the night in jail. Never been in any type of trouble before whatsoever. Uh, when I say trouble, I mean he don't have a police record or anything like that. Just graduated high school. And here's the thing about it. He was complying with what the officer was asking him at the front door. That's what he was doing. And so when you tell young men to all you have to do is comply with the officer, he was complying. And he wound up in the sticker bushes, he wound up on the concrete, he wound up in the grass and everywhere else when that happened.
So
So,
how is
and
that
let me just say this.
okay?
I was contacted that night. Well, not the night that, about that. And no, I was contacted that morning. I'm sorry. I was contacted that morning. And oftentimes when we're contacted, I'm doing something else. So I'm stopping what I'm doing because that's, and I look at the video and I don't even have to know what's going on. I'm like, this is wrong automatically. And I call the sheriff's office and to let them know it's about to be a problem with this. He was out of jail. And I'm gonna just say this. I commend the sheriff for acting swiftly as he did. A lot of times, we hear about the blue wall and things of that, even in the city of Hammond, where they didn't even discipline the guy because they found no fault in him. But he so he has an attorney. So now that's no longer an NAACP issue. We still keep eyes on it, but he has an attorney, and that's what people have to understand. We're still engaged, but the attorney has the lead on that particular thing now. So that's what people really have to understand. And even with other local issues that are going on that are in the legal system, LaRondra, we was involved in that. But once you get an attorney, it's then
Now,
we kind of
in LaRon,
fade back some.
was I? I'm trying to see what happened in LaRon.
That's where the teacher and the student, the young black student, yeah, that particular incident.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wait,
yeah,
okay. That particular incident. Okay. Yeah, I did hear about that. I briefly heard about that. I thought that was just ludicrous too.
yeah. So, and let me just say, they have an attorney, attorney Ben Crump, is on the case, and let me tell you, when Ben Crump is on the case, he's gonna shake some trees, rattle some cages, and he's gonna do all of that. So,
Okay.
we're looking forward to seeing a positive outcome in that particular case. But let me just say this. Here's another case where they were really trying to sweep it under the rug. And even in the justice system, they were still trying to sweep it, under the rug. But now that Ben is on the case, I'm pretty, huh?
About the young child situation?
Yeah, they was trying to sweep it under the rug. They was trying to sweep it under the rug. But with being on the case, I'm pretty sure it is going to get the attention that it needs and deserves. Yeah, 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 yeah. So, and not only that, and let me just say this too. With every complaint that the NAACP get, even if it's something that is not an NAACP issue, we still try to help the folk and point them either in the right direction or help where we can in helping them bring resolution to their issues. Because we know in this area, people don't have a whole lot of support and a whole lot of avenues where they can go and get help. And when people reach out to you, we have to do what we can. And a lot of times people say, I call the NAACP and they ain't do nothing. Well, if you listen to what I'm telling you, I'm going to be straight up with you and tell you, that's not an NAACP issue, or this is more of this issue. You might want to try to resolve it this way or that way.
Right.
I mean, I think of anything that we can get calls for the NAACP, and we get them. And so we are glad to be here to be a support for this community, to try to bring some sense of equity to this community.
One more. This incident that just happened with another, I don't know, was it Livingston or Tangipahoa Parish, with another black person supposedly was accused of stealing a car and got out the car, and I don't know if he was resisting arrest, but the other officer, I'm understanding, was supposed to have shot him and killed him. What's the
Well, let me say this, and I was out of town when that happened. When I came back into town, I heard about that situation, and the sheriff office did turn it over to the state police for investigation, which that's the way it's supposed to be. Now, let me just say this: just because, huh?
So we're gonna kind of salute our sheriff that the new elect sheriff, because somebody was hollering that he ain't did this or he ain't did this and he did this and he didn't do that. But I liked the way he came to our second Saturday right away when that incident happened in Ponchatoula, and then when he was sworn on in, I kind of like felt good about him and the fact of his background and him wanting to just do what is right and make a change. But I got to say, including me, when you do stuff you ain't supposed to do, you're going to have some kind of judgment and jail time or some things going to have to happen. He can't just let everybody off the hook of everything.
Look, let me
if you guilty or if you doing things you ain't supposed to do, So, yeah.
Renee, let me say this, and I will be the first person to call somebody out when they're not doing what they're supposed to be doing in the elected office. But when you're doing what you're supposed to do, I think it's noteworthy that you do acknowledge that this person did do something right. And so, and the fact remains is that in the two cases that have been involved with Black men, the sheriff has done something right. Now, I don't know about any other cases where something may have went wrong. And some people might say, look at Showers, he got with the sheriff. I'm going to call balls and strikes. That's what I'm going to do.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what I'm going to do. And so, and when he's wrong, we are going to call, and the sheriff noticed, because I told him, when he's wrong, we are going to call him to account. And that's just, and not just the sheriff, any other political figure in this parish. When you're wrong, we're going to hold you to account.
And one thing I can say that I believe about this shirt, um, I'm not gonna say that he won't do nothing wrong, but I'm gonna say this: he has a reputation to stand by, and he's the type of person, and because he like you military, he's gonna stand by his reputation, and he's not gonna fail. And because he ran on the fact that he felt like previous administrations had a lot of stuff he had to clean up, I don't think he gonna come. And I don't know if he was retired or what, but I think he wasn't sheriffing anymore. I don't believe. And if he gonna come out of retirement or whatever he did and run to try to make a difference, to leave a legacy, and he said he was spiritual, and I felt like he was spiritual.
Yeah.
And if he's gonna really come out and try to leave a legacy and to make a difference where it seems like it has not been done right for years, according to some of the stuff I heard said. He's not gonna be too quick to make the wrong moves.
Right.
And when he done come there, and people, some of them wouldn't have cared, but when he done come there, and like I said, he got a reputation to hold up to, and he done come there and ask for votes and said that he gonna do this and the other. I don't think he's the type. He don't rub me as the type that is gonna let his reputation go down.
Right. But let me just clarify something that I said, because I don't want the people to get it construed that we're not doing anything, especially when a young black man has lost his life at the hands of police. It is, first and foremost, is serious. And so our suspicion level does go up, because we do know that the police isn't always as forthcoming and truthful in these particular cases as they should. And I'll go even a step further. The state police have already shown that they're not always forthcoming and truthful as possible, because you look at what happened in the Ronald Green situation. So we have to always keep a level of awareness and suspicion when it comes to investigations involving the death. Only thing I was commenting on, people, so please don't call me and beat me up. Only thing that I was commenting on was the fact that the sheriff did what he was supposed to do and turn that investigation over. That's what I was commenting on. I'm not saying.
But like you said, if you saying to the best of your knowledge of what you know, you can stand on that. And like you said, that's what I like about you. And I think you're in a good position where you at, is because you're gonna call it out. And if you don't like it, you're gonna say you don't like it. If you don't think it went the way it ought to go, you're gonna say that you don't think it went the way it ought to go. So that's something that I can appreciate about you, since I've been, talking to you, and since you've been in that position, and I've been aware of what all you do in that position. You have really showed yourself worthy of the position, and I don't
Thank
care.
you.
Like I said, I don't know what other people know, and I'm the type of person. If you come to me about my friends, or you come to me about somebody that I know firsthand the way they deal with me, we're gonna have a problem. We're gonna have a problem, because I'm gonna shut you down. Now, I might let you share some with me, but I'm still, don't really tell it to me, because I'm gonna go check it out. And it's for me to run with it. I'm sure not gonna go and talk and tell nobody else. I'm gonna go to them and see if their story goes with your story. Because people tend to lie anyway. I'm sorry. But anyway,
I tell you.
people tell you anything.
Absolutely. And so when you in these positions, it's just something you're gonna have to live with. But as long as you know, like I said, that you can lay your head on the pillow at night, I did the best that I can do in any particular situation. That is it. Now I do, and I will reiterate to your viewers, and that we're going to try to be more transparent in the NAACP to let people know what's going on. We can't always let you know we can't give you play by play of
Right,
what's going on. Can't give you play by play. But a
right,
lot of times, just know when something is going on in the community, NAACP is aware. Now, sometimes we aren't aware because sometimes people don't share it. Oh, they ain't doing it. Well, we didn't know. But
right.
if you knew that you contacted us and you got a response, we've been contacted. And so
So
a lot of times it takes a little while for this stuff to play out. And once again with this death situation with the young man with the sheriff's office, that just because he allegedly had a stolen vehicle, that is not a death sentence. Just because he may allegedly resisted arrest, or whatever the case may be, none of that is a death sentence. And so all that has to be looked at. So that's all I'm saying. But we are certainly glad that it's turned over.
you just can't assume nobody is a threat if you don't see no weapon and if you don't see them pull nothing, you can't assume they a threat because you can get some mace. I'm sure police has got a bunch of mace. You can go over there and start spraying. You can stop them. You can stop them without shooting them. You
Yes,
stop people without shooting them.
yes,
But
yes.
and we just gonna pray that the stupid, foolish stuff that the president elect was talking about immunity to all police that don't go forward. So we need to be voting at the polls if that is a true saying and if that is in Project 25 in the paperwork that they called Project 25 the agenda of that what they call it the people who wrote all that stuff way back and wanted that stuff to go in play, and they revised it back in. I'm understanding that it was revised back up in 2020 when they was looking to get a new president in 2025, and that's how it became called Project 25, is because they revised. Because people are saying that this stuff was written what's that organization who wrote this stuff 45 years ago? So one while they had me thinking that it was something that was wrote 45 years ago that when the people was trying to put us back and they wrote all this craziness when they was trying to put us back when we first almost integrated and they had a plan to put us back almost I don't know how long ago. So all that stuff in there because that's what all that stuff sound like. But then they made me think that it was written back there, and then they just tried to throw it on DT. But then it was told to me that they say his name is mentioned in there over 300 times because they revised it in 2020, and somehow they say his name is in it. And different people read it to me. They read different excerpts out of it from me. Did you read any of it? Did you read any of what they called Project
I
25?
did read some of Project 2025, and I was hoping that I was hoping that Kamala Harris would have won and we wouldn't have to do it. So I didn't read too much of it. So I'm going to have to go back and really do some work on that. And that might be something that we could talk about,
Yeah.
in our next show.
But did
You
you see
know,
his
with,
name in it? Did you see his name in whatever part you read? DT.
I did not see his name in the part that I read.
Okay.
I
Okay.
did. So,
Okay.
so but I did hear that he it was for him. I heard that. So I gotta go put eyes on it myself. And
uh,
I gotta put eyes on it myself. But let me just say this real quick too, with proposition what was it? Proposition one in Hammond.
wait. Wait. When we talk about that, do you know 50% of the people that did go out and uh 50% of the people who did go out and vote didn't even know what it was, and some of them didn't even vote on it at all. So for them to say that the people didn't want it, and for them to say that it lost or they won, they really didn't. People just was not aware, And I'm just gonna say God must have been on the chief's side so he can get his retirement because I don't know how many years he got. But if he got 4 more years before the people can vote again, that means the Lord blessed him because I really think that the Lord saw favor to bless the mayor to give him them other 4 years so he can have his 12 years retirement. So
Well,
and he is
well,
a I
well,
think
I'm not gonna credit the Lord with that one because I'm gonna tell you right now. Sometimes, yeah,
well,
I'm just
I just said because he can move his hand and stop things. So I'm just gonna say that he allowed him, and then he wanted the next candidate to have a clean slate and not an incumbent. So
what,
that's what I'm gonna say.
what I'm gonna say this. I know the Lord can move His hand. I'm a faith. I'm a believer, but the Lord is not gonna do what He gave you the power to do.
Well,
And He gave us the power to take our rumps to the polls, and if we don't do it, well, then that's what we wind up with.
so the people went to the poll, but they was unaware. They was
Yeah. Now,
on the things because I think the vote did real good on again. For it was a real good turnout for, but the ones who didn't vote for, they were unaware. And I'm gonna be honest with you, white and black people that voted no, they only voted no because they saw all these signs and they figured it must have been something bad. And some of them did not even vote just because they didn't want it. If they knew what that was really for, they would have voted yes. I believe that in my heart. Whites and blacks, they would have made sure they voted that. I know people that didn't vote in it at all because they never vote all the extra stuff. And that's how we get a lot of stuff passed and in law that we don't want because they're not educated enough or nobody has educated them before they went to the polls. I mean, black
and you and
have to make sure that this platform and YouTube, like you have family, share this off of YouTube because everybody don't have to be on Facebook. Everybody don't
right,
have to be our friends on Facebook. But if you got a telephone, you got their numbers in your phone, share the video so they can hear the stuff that we're saying, so they can know what's actually going on, and they'll be aware to follow my YouTube station because they can just pop up there every now and then and see what we're talking about.
right, right,
Yeah.
right,
And
right.
like you're gonna be on here regular, and this is gonna be your avenue of getting things out, which you will be. This is your platform. This is George Perkins' platform. This is our platform. This is the community's platform. This community awareness talk show. So
Absolutely,
we're gonna be doing this on a regular basis. As often if you needed to do it. So we're gonna have to get that program in the community's mind so they can come here and find out some different things, you know. Yeah.
absolutely,
So yeah.
absolutely. And I certainly appreciate your platform. Uh, um, I certainly appreciate your platform. So, and you're right. We have to do a better job at communicating to the public. And even with this Proposition 1, I see that, 40, it was 41% to 59%. 59% was no, and 41% yes, with 2,424 votes.
That's good considering people didn't know about it, you know.
Right. And it was a 60% turnout rather than you see you see others at 67, 70% turnout. So people didn't vote for it because they didn't know. And so and I'm gonna
Or
tell you this,
they
if
voted against it because of signs they saw.
right. And the mayor even, and I'm gonna say this, even if it's this close for 41% to 59%, the mayor should even look at that as a referendum. Because when it gets that close,
Yes.
and then some people don't know, that means, hey, you got a problem, you need to fix it. And if you thinking about running for something else, just like I heard, and I'm gonna say what I gotta say. I heard that he's gonna run for Paris president. So when you're thinking about running for some other stuff, you need to know that people are gonna remember your track record and the footprints. And when you don't do you know, you have a diverse community that you have to you have to answer to, and when you're not, and when you're silent to one part of the community, that becomes that becomes an issue.
Problem that becomes an
Yeah.
issue. And the thing is, I like that when Sam came on and when he explained himself, that was a misconception too. Some of the whites that might have voted against it that didn't want to hurt the chief. And it was said, and I believe Sam, that what was done already was done, but you just couldn't slip up no more. You know, different things that was already done was done. So even if they would have, if the vote would have passed, it would have not been directly targeted on this chief to be gotten out of office right away or gotten out of office for what had been done or what they didn't like was done with under his leadership. So he still would have been in office. But if things keep on happening, then it would have been brought to the council. But as long as you know that you're not going to do what is wrong, well, then you didn't have to worry about it. And they could have voted that because nothing about it, this was not about that chief to me. That thing was about chiefs in general, and it was about making people accountable in general for the future of this community. And I hope and pray that whoever counsel again in the future, that it will come up again. Because I want the council to be able to make that decision for the next chief or whatever chiefs they have.
The next chief, the chief after that chief, yeah, absolutely.
Right.
People have to feel uh heard, and you have to be able to listen to uh you have to be able to listen to your constituency to see what their needs, are. You can't just sidetrack and say nothing here without offering any type of
Oh,
viable explanation of what happened. We know things are going to happen. Here's what I want people to know. We know things are going to happen. But what do you do in leadership at that particular time when things do happen is what going to define the way people see you. It should, but in this area, not so much. But it should.
right,
Uh,
right, right.
and
You're
and 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 so we just have to be aware of all of that. And let me just say, and I'm gonna say this, and I know, oh, it's
Kristen said she a few minutes ago she texted me. I just texted her. I told her come on before we get off right quick. But I don't know if she gonna make it on. she said
okay. Well, if she make it on, I'll stay
a
two,
little
three more minutes just to see what Chris got to say. That's my girl. But I do want to exactly. So I do want to say this too. Um, and I want to say when it comes to voting, there's a lot of barriers in our way. And let me just say, and I can call her name, Miss Ayana Buchanan, who ran. I thought she ran an excellent race in a meet. Not saying anything bad about any other candidate. Certainly not the mayor that's in there, Walter Daniels now. But I'm just saying, I think she ran a pretty good campaign, and she called to account some things that was happening in the city of a meet.
she was a
With
lady.
huh?
She was a black lady.
Yeah, yeah,
And
young
she
black female who was running for mayor. She called to account some things that was uh, in fact voter fraud in the town of a meet. And let me just say this, and here's what a lot of people don't know. When Ayana called me, it was Halloween uh, day when she called me about what was going on. And so let me just say, you know, I didn't even go. I didn't even take my baby girl Halloween candy shopping or whatever they call it, trick or treating or whatever, because now We got to take a look at this. And let me just say this. I went home in 30 minutes with the names that I was provided for who had already voted in early voting in 30 minutes, so that these people already had domiciles. They had businesses in AME, but they lived in Betico. They just lived all over the parish. And so when you look at something like that, and we call for fair elections at the top, well, we really need fair elections at the bottom too. You can't be a business owner voting out of your business and not, and saying that's your domicile, your place of residence. So that was an issue. And let me just say, Emmanuel Sanders, I think I have it pulled up here because I wanted to say that very briefly. Emmanuel Sanders lost the race by 29 votes. There was 30 names that was given who had voted early in that election. So we have to start looking at stuff like that. And I'm gonna just say that we have to start doing it early. We can't be lackadaisical about it. And even when she called me, I called an attorney that we knew that deals in this kind of stuff. And they came, and we were supposed to be there the day of to challenge voters, but I took sick. I have to apologize. I can't, I got the flu that Sunday, and I was sick, for about 3 days, but couldn't go. And certainly the attorney couldn't make it, but he lost that vote by 29 votes. And
are they doing anything to rectify that and to prove that it was voter fraud and all that kind of stuff?
Well, they're not. Well, not now, because you have only so many days afterwards to file the challenge votes. And this is what's so important and what's so critical moving forward to candidates out there that's running for these particular offices. When you have your poll watchers and stuff like that is supposed to, they can challenge these particular votes. Now when it comes to early voting, there's a method and a way to challenge those, and you can't challenge them during early voting. You have to wait to actually vote are counted to, which is election day. But we're gonna get I want to say smarter on that when it comes to that, so that we can meet these type of challenges, these type of barriers in the future, because we cannot just have a fair election and let the chips fall where they may. People can't be voting out of this place and that place.
Okay,
so
can I count on you to do all the research and start getting us prepared for not only the Hammond local level of voting, but the whole state level of voting this year? Because we've got to try to get the people out that's registered. It's one thing to be registered and then they still don't go to the poll, but we got to try to, what are we going to do to try to sway people and convince people? What can we do to sway people and convince people how important the vote is still today?
Well, I think we have to change our messaging. We have to change our messaging. We have to change our tactics. We have to meet people where they are. And for the Democratic Party needs to do some self-reflections. If they want to start winning elections in this area, they need to start self-assessing what it is that we're doing that's not working, that's not appealing to young voters. What it is that we're not doing that's not reaching to getting people excited and energized about voting. You know, we have to do some soul searching, and we cannot just scare tactics not working no more. We saw that with this last election. Scare tactics aren't working anymore. So let's stop. If you don't vote this time, it's going to hell in a handbasket. we we can't do that no more because people have turned a deaf ear to that stuff. And we also people.
I'm gonna tell you another thing we need to do, and they're not gonna do it. I don't get this with pastors now. Can't say vote for XYZ. You used to do it when things was real hard, and when the civil rights was going on, and when you was trying to get out of what is it, segregation and all of that kind of stuff. You stood up in those pulpits and told them folks, vote for XYZ. Now, we can't tell you who to vote for. Yes, you can. Now, we might not follow you, but you can tell us because people follow their pastors. And if they tell them to vote for X, Y, and Z, that's who they're going to vote for. But when you just get up there and say, well, this, that, and the other, and you dance around it, no. And you know, and I hate to say it was true. Some of the conversations I had when I was campaigning a couple of years ago, how these people going up in here and they really believe that these preachers are getting their palm greased with money to keep certain people in office. I don't know how true that is, but that's the kind of bird stuff I heard people say that
I think, and you know what?
The money is for them politicians.
Well, let me say this. I've never seen it or anything like that. But let me just say this. I don't know what's the legal ramifications. I think that may be a conversation as far as pastors being able to say who to vote for or whatnot. I don't know what kind of legal ramifications that is for the church or standing in there. I don't know.
The only thing I know is that when Barack Obama was gone, everybody got cameras and everybody taking clippings out of people's sermons. And when that right man got up there and said all the stuff he said, which he said too much extra stuff. He could have just said, we got the first time ever opportunity to make a difference. And because I feel bad because Obama had to draw away from his pastor who had nurtured him in the scriptures and in the word of God because those folks and media got up in there and said that he was preaching hate because I think he might have called the other people devils or whatever or something because it's got a clip it out there. You know they ain't gonna let it ride. They ain't gonna never let it go down. And Obama had to distance himself from his spiritual leader because they say he was promoting hate, which that wasn't nothing but a trick of the devil. But now he was kind of harsh with what he said, but he didn't have to say all that. He could have simply said, vote for Barack Obama. And it wouldn't have been no legal. They can't tell no preacher what to say out of his mouth, freedom of speech. No, it ain't no legal ramification. These preachers need to just get up there and say, look, I'm voting XYZ, or either we need this person to be in office, vote for this person.
I think there is some, Renee, and I think we got to be careful when we say that a person should do something versus a person not being able to do.
Look it up and bring it back to me. I
Oh,
want to see it. I want to see it. Look it up. Look it up and bring it back
you
to
know what? I'm gonna ask. I'm gonna ask. And I know there are pastors that don't have a problem with.
I want you to do the research yourself, not ask, because they'll tell you anything. I want you to do the research and find out is there some legality for a pastor? Because okay, that's like them trying to tell the preacher that they got to marry two of the same sex. And that's like telling the preacher that they can't say no. That ain't gonna make me believe that. And then that's the same thing too, like telling him that he can't preach Jesus, that he got to stop telling people they can be saved again. You know, I'm just saying. When you say,
Yeah, I think it has something to do with like 501(c)(3), but I think we need to save that and just leave and just leave that. And because what we don't want to do, we don't want to paint a broad brush for everybody. You know what I'm saying?
I get a 501(c), and I don't think it means that I'm gonna be not to be able to tell people who to vote for with a 501(c) for my
Okay.
organization. It's a bunch of
Yeah.
people with 501(c)s. Okay, but I understand what you're saying, but we're gonna do the research and find out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
most of these churches said they don't get no 501(c), they don't get no breaks. I mean, I've heard pastors say it all the time. Don't nobody give them no money. Their churches are run by tithes and offers and stuff. So I can't stand that the 501(c) because what most preachers, I don't believe is gonna sign nothing that tell them that they can't have freedom of speech in their church.
Right.
That's,
Right.
but find out for me. Find out for me.
We'll
Because
find out, and
that's
like I say, we have to be careful and sensitive to the fact that we don't want to paint everybody with a broad brush when it comes to, because the fact of the matter is we do have pastors doing great work in the community. Uh,
better that, but I'm talking about this voting.
yeah,
Uh, all this other work they doing, I'm talking about getting somebody elected
I
that
know
we.
what you're talking about.
That's what I'm
I
talking
know
about.
what you're talking about.
And if they speaking over there and just emphatically said we need to do our vote and tell them they're gonna do it. Some of them, the ones who do follow and do follow after what their pastor said. And we got a lot of them. We got a lot
Pas-
of
Pastors have a lot of sway in the community. They
right,
do. That's
right.
no doubt about that. So,
Some
so
let them come up and talk and then this, that, and other. But when you turn around and say, well, your vote is your vote and blah, blah, blah. And but baby, these people don't know how to go in and come out the rain. So they don't know. They don't know. I'll tell you, the people went to the poll and they didn't even know to vote for vote yes for Proposition 1. You know what I'm saying?
here's what I do know what can be done. I don't know if you could tell people how to vote. Again, I don't know. But I do know that there may be some type of education where you say, because even in NAACP, we're not, you can't say, okay, vote for Renee. Can't
Well,
do
I
that. But I can say, well, Renee stands for this and Mike stands for this. And whichever one lines up with the way you know the way you feel or the way you are, then
No,
that
I know what you're saying with the NAACP. Since you was the president of it, you make it. And I said, and which I don't think that's fair either. But
I'm gonna say what I feel, and y'all can get me out of office if you want to. That's what I'm gonna do.
saying if you, because I know some people can't put signs on certain jobs they own. I don't want none of them jobs. Like I know even at WFPR over the air on their job, I can't say who to vote for. But if I have to quit working there over here, I'm gonna say who to vote for. Now, when I
Yeah,
get over there, I ain't gonna say nothing but go out and vote. And I might not even mention voting because I can get this. Because if y'all don't want me saying who to vote for and everybody, but over here, I can tell you, look, this is the candidate for the job. You
yeah,
know,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
but I understand on certain jobs because I think even like at the schoolhouses, even though one of the principals at Ponchatoula High when I was there, she did have a sign on her car, but I think it was against regulations that she wasn't supposed to, but I'm not sure. But I know certain state level jobs and different kind of jobs like that, you can't do it. And sometimes you can't do it because you're working for the folks that's already in. And if that ain't the person that you vote for, you might not have a job.
And how low down and dirty is that? And,
Yeah,
and see, and that's a barrier. That's a barrier. Those are barriers. Those are barriers, and those are the things that we look uh, to eradicate. People shouldn't be afraid to vote or even say who they voted for. It is what it is. And I understand that you can't take it on your job and stuff like that because there are rules and regulations to that, and there's laws and all this other kind of stuff. But certainly, you know, when you're out and about, you could say
right.
you can say, and I think we
Certain
have to we have to do a better job at communicating with the people
right.
and so that everybody can understand, because everybody don't look at the news. I'm gonna tell you this.
But I done heard a couple of pastors, but I don't hear key pastors that I think ought to do it. But I've heard a couple of pastors tell people uh, at their church, this is who we are supporting or whatever. I think I have heard that. If I'm not mistaken, I have heard that. But I think a lot of the key ones do not. And I heard in the grapevine during the time of the last election, one in a particular church um, didn't allow somebody to get up and speak. And I'm trying to recall, because I'm familiar with that church. I know back in the day, people used to come in there and speak, but it might be something that the pastor has just stopped going altogether at that church, and they may not be letting people get up and speak, during election because of that feeling like they swaying them some way. But the biggest of the church do, and I know at Mount Vernon, Pastor Brown lets whoever come up get up and say hello to the congregation as a visitor or what have you. So I do know that he do let people get up and say hello. But I was told, what I heard through the grapevine, that this particular one did not let a person get up or didn't offer the person to get up. And I was kind of bothered by that, because I wasn't aware of that. But then I started thinking, I tried to think in the past, other than way back, had I saw them allow anybody to actually get up. But like I said, everybody has their reasons for doing what they do.
Right, right,
Right.
right,
But I
right.
do think they should tell them to vote. Now, if you got two candidates from the same church, I can understand. And like at Greenfield, for years, we had two councilmen in the same district running against each other. So they couldn't tell you who to vote for because they both were sisters and brothers in Christ, which I used to hate it. But sometimes if the other one ain't doing what they supposed to do, or you don't like what the other one did, I realized later on, sometimes you got to run against the other one. Because if I run for council like I'm planning on in District 3, all the people that I went to church with is in District 3. So
Wait,
that,
wait a minute. Now, wait a minute. Hold up. This is after Devon, right?
it's after the bond.
Okay.
Well,
Oh, okay.
I would run against the bond. Hey, good. That's hard right there. He done did everything he's supposed to do. And ain't kissed no tail or none of that. And ain't took down to nothing. He has stood flat foot. And if I become, when I become city council, I hope to do the same thing. Not take. I might not be as radical as he is. I might not be as radical as he is. I might not be as radical as he is, but I do promise you that you ain't gonna just be putting stuff over my head, and getting away with this and getting away with that. And and it depends on who's running for mayor this year, of what I feel about that situation there. Whatever. It just depends on who is running for mayor the next mayor election. But
Right. I already heard some things about that, but I'll just wait and see because I don't want to.
too, I heard some too. So
Yeah, I heard some leaves. I heard some leaves blowing in the wind. So I tell you,
I gonna win too. But
but
I
it
think
it should.
it's gonna be again like it was last time, because one of them little men. Now one of them men probably won't run again. The one that got all the money, he probably won't run again, because I understand that he had a designated purpose of running last time, to just show somebody something and to make the waters troubled for somebody. But then that other one, it's always been his dream ever since he was a little boy. So and what I didn't like from what I'm hearing in the grapevine, did none of the ones who lost come aboard and try to get their supporters to support the other person that was running. But they were so against the other person, but they couldn't even sway their people to vote for the other person. I had a problem with that too. Now, if that would have been her, or that would have been on the other side, she'd have backed one of them. So yeah,
Yeah.
people they think we dumb. They think we crazy. So them same ones who run last time and didn't support her, baby, y'all got trouble on y'all hand. Y'all better hope y'all got enough people on y'all side that y'all vote don't get. And hopefully y'all vote or get split and get it split enough that that whoever our candidate is can walk on in. But they're gonna fight that through the thin. Depends on who our candidate is. You know, already know. We all know already know if it's a black person, and don't let it be a woman. We already know. We saw what happened with all the last elections with the women, the judge, the mayor, and then we just saw what happened with the president. And we know that you are not, but the rumor is all over TikTok and everywhere that the men of this community and of this society of the United States are narcissists. That's what the word is. The reason they're not voting for women, and the other word is that several things they're saying about them, and that they are totally disrespectful and unappreciated of the woman species in this United States of America when it comes to higher offices and just offices in general. They just couldn't keep them all the way down from every office. But if they had their way, they would want all males to be in all the high offices. They don't think it's a woman's place to lead.
Mm, mm.
And we know that it's true because it's true in a lot of local churches. They don't want women to pastor. Don't want women to minister. They don't want them to be nothing but a missionary or a Sunday school teacher.
Mm, mm.
So that's what we got. A lot of men feel that way. And I wouldn't be surprised if a lot of our black men kept Kamala Harris out of office. One preacher, he was on TikTok. He said that he was troubled when she first won the nominee. But then he said after a white man, he felt disrespected her. And I forgot what all he said. I shared it on my page. I was all on the
Mm.
thing. I shared it on my page. But after that man said what he said, I'm all in. But he's a black preacher. That's why he wasn't in, because many black preachers don't want women to be in leadership. They feel to some, what you call it? What's the word? Some, it's an S word. Some authority over a man.
Subservient? Is that what you're trying to say? Well,
Huh?
and again, I think we have to be careful about painting a broad brush because I'm not sure what and some of it has to do with
And some a woman can't lead. She's not strong enough. I mean, it had women said it. It had women said it, especially when it came to Kamala. They said no, she don't need to be president. Don't No woman need to be president because they don't think like a man. My niece said it. My niece said it that Trump probably would. I mean, DT probably would be better because a woman. They think a woman is sensitive. If that man is that sensitive, you know what I'm saying?
well, let me say that's out of my league, to this.
Yeah, they had all kind of stuff, people were saying. And I'm looking at these people like, y'all really done lost y'all mind. Because even in the Bible, you had the prophetess Deborah. You can go on and on and on and on what God used Esther, what God used women
Absolutely.
that was able to lead and to get the job done of some things that he wanted done. So where they get this stuff from? You know? So it's sad. We're in a sad situation. And it gets to where like me, I would love to see Kamala run again. But a lot of people said, she don't need to run again because they done proved the point that they are not gonna let I think that she can win. If, like you said, people get their minds right and people learn that they need to go out and vote. But I think what Kamala would have to do is really go around, and I think she should start right now if she really truly always wanted to be president and she thinks she can do the job. I think she needs to go around the country and truly she didn't have enough time, like people said, she only had 105 days, and
Right, right.
she need to go around and win the trust of especially the black male, because it was so much put out there on her, um, about the way she ran and the way she jailed people of African descent, males. And I think it was a misunderstanding of what she actually did and what actually her play was in that. It wasn't like they said it. It wasn't like she just went out prosecuting and picking on black men. And but I think that is what they portrayed, and it went wild before she could even let people know who she was. So I think that was a big issue in her election. I was trying to look up that man, because I really was proud of him, but and I guess people gonna be leering, but that here he is. He shouldn't have been leering in the first place. He shouldn't have been leering, nominee. Because by the time I'm gonna confess, I wasn't too happy about that. Wait, let me go all the way back. But
Oh,
now,
oh, Renee. I just
coming
looked at my thing. It's at 1%. So if I black, if I cut off, that means. And
Kamala,
I have. Hold on. I have it plugged up. Let's see if my.
sometimes they do that though. I'm glad I'm on my computer. Oh, you on your laptop?
No, I'm actually on my cell.
Becoming presidential nominee. I'm gonna confess, I wasn't too happy blacked out about that. But I'm all in now blacked out. On Kamala becoming a presidential nominee. Well, I'm gonna play it anyway for on Kamala becoming a presidential nominee. Okay, hold on. On Kamala becoming the whole presidential thing. Nominee. On Kamala becoming a presidential nominee. Right. On Kamala becoming a presidential nominee. I'm gonna confess, I wasn't too happy about that, but I'm all in now. I'm 100% now for this reason. This representative from Tennessee, sorry, Connie, from Tennessee, he called her a DEI candidate, and then he started calling her colored. Then he started calling her out of her name. And as a black man, I can't let no white man talk about no sister like that. And I'll not take offense to it. Because who is more disqualified than Donald Trump? And Republicans are all in because he is the avatar for their grievance. How qualified does a black person have to be? Graduated at the top of her class at Howard, went to law school, was Attorney General of the state, a United States Senator, a Vice President of the United States, but she's not qualified? I'm all in. Because I'm not going to let any white man tell me how I ought to feel about a black person. Stony the road we've trod. On Kamala becoming presidential nominee. Yep, that's what he said. So yeah, we have been talking to Michael Showers, the president of the NAACP. He gave us a lot of nuggets, a lot of information, and we hope that you would go and you would chew on it. And he's always welcome here, and he will be back anytime he feel like he needs to come back and talk to you. He will come in and talk to you all. And he's going to keep you up on different things. We're going to keep you up on different things on the upcoming midterm election, the local elections, and all of that. We're going to try to keep you up on whatever is going on with any of the departments. Uh, they will be coming to, and I will be coming if the Lord permits and wills. I'll be coming to keep you up on the various things that is going on in our society and in our community concerning the law, concerning individuals, and many other things that we will talk about on our community awareness talk show. And before we leave, we want to remind each of you that there is a breakfast on this coming Saturday, a breakfast on this coming Saturday coming up. I just saw, okay, that was on the old stream. Okay, I was going to say, hold up. But there is a breakfast that's coming up on this Saturday, and it is being, let me give y'all this information. Let me get to it. Okay, here it is. There is the second Saturday Awareness and Action Group in Company Attachment Home cordially invites you to their annual second Saturday breakfast meeting, uh, and it's going to be Saturday, January the 11th, 2025, 8:30 a.m. to 10 o'clock a.m. The guest speaker will be Dr. William Wainwright, president of Southeastern Louisiana University, and special guest will be Dr. Jim Carlson, uh, Chancellor of North Shore Technical Community College. The SSAAG president is George Perkins Jr. Southeast is going to be at the Southeastern University Alumni Building, 104 West University Avenue, Hammond, Louisiana 70401. You are invited to be there. Be there, and I have attended several meetings there. We do that annually in January, and the breakfast is always great, and the meeting is always great. Also, we want to remind you that our own dear sister, Sister Sylvia Jackson, had a car accident, and her car was totaled, and she had not been able to go to work. And she is one that goes to work, and she's one that helps so many people. So her quartet family say hello, friends and quartet family. Come production, a production out of Tallulah, Louisiana, is asking your group to come and help us spread love to our friend uh, Sylvia Jackson, gospel promoter of Hammond, Louisiana. Doors open at 5 p.m. Event starts at 6 p.m. It's an open door program. It's January the 17th, 2025 on a Friday night. Your presence and donations would be greatly appreciated. It's going to be at 598 Wood Street, Richmond, and that's in Tallulah, Louisiana. Also, those groups and are asked to donate as God has blessed you, and also come out. For more details, call Kara at 318-434-1599. Also, in Hammond, our very own James Cox will also host a benefit for Sister Sylvia as well. It's going to be a drive-by benefit for Sylvia Jackson, January the 18th, 2025, 12 p.m. to 3 p.m. at the Sweet Home Baptist Church, 19380 Florida Boulevard, Albany, Louisiana, 70711. Let me see what my time frame is. I still got a little time, so we do have some other announcements. And if you want any of your announcements to be made on our platform, there are fees. Just get in touch with your girl. Text me at 985-662 4738. Don't forget, we have a community awareness talk show, live interviews and discussions we have. Stay tuned. You never know who will be a guest. If you would like to be a guest, all we ask you is that at some point in time you be a contributor to our platform. And in order to make sure you have a spot on our community awareness talk show or in our platforms, you're welcome to become a monthly $25 a month sponsor where we can make all your announcements 2 weeks in advance. And also, you have an opportunity to be selected to be a guest on our platform. Sending love and care to our community is what we do. Also, don't forget that we do have gospel quartet music live. We try to do it on Thursday nights. Sometimes we don't get around to being live, but we do have pre-recorded shows that we do bring to you when we can't be live. Download the TuneIn Radio app and search or browse for PGGM Radio. Also, you can get us on YouTube at youtube.com, ZRW Melodies. That's ZRWMELODIES. And that's every Thursday night, 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let's talk quartet. Sometime we're going to have prizes with trivial questions and a lot of fun. And we're going to be having interviews. Matter of fact, if the Lord said yes, on tomorrow night, on Thursday, January the 9th, we are going to have, we're going to talk about promoting and talk about gospel artists and concerning. We're gonna have different guests that we have invited to come on. So whoever comes on, that's who we will do it with. Don't forget Heavenly Melodies, which I am the host of the Princess of Radio, Evangelist DJ Renee. Try to present, if there's possible, a live Saturday midday jams. Again with the Princess of Radio, Evangelist DJ Renee, and the same information there to download the TuneIn Radio app or catch us on YouTube. But the TuneIn Radio app will have something planned 24/7. Tune in every Saturday, 1 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, 2 p.m. Central Standard Time, and 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. I want to remind you that the church that I fellowship with, the pastor that I fellowship with, Mount Vernon Missionary Baptist Church, have weekly scheduled service live on Mondays, Bible study from Mount Vernon, 6 to 7 p.m., Facebook and YouTube. On Tuesdays, live Bible study on Facebook only, 6 p.m. to 7 p.m. And on Thursday night, Healing and Blessing Service, Mount Vernon, 6 to 7 p.m. But I think you may have to be in person for that one. You may have to be in person for that one. Don't forget, don't forget. And also, save the date, save the date. Tyrone Porter Legacy Showcase will be taking place June 8, 2025. And they may have some added dates as well, but that will be the main event date. I'm understanding, I believe, but we will be talking to my niece Alicia about that and her husband, Mario Porter, and some others that are in that organization. It's going to be at 220 Plat, Ply Drive, PELT, Fayetteville, North Carolina, 28301. They have scheduled so far the Swanee Quintet, Roy Revelation, the FOLs, Maurice Yancey and One Accord, Michael Barkins and the Mighty Voices, Flossie Bard Johnson and Favor, the McDonald Sisters, and many more will be a part of that. Will be a part of that. And don't forget to tune into PGGM Radio, all gospel all the time, 24/7 with Miss Millie. We care gospel affairs at 8 a.m. Central Standard Time on PGGM Radio. And yours truly, you don't know what time you're about to find me. And now we have our talking points talk show. Ain't no telling what time you're lying to find me on there, but we are on there at 8 a.m. We're on there at 6 a.m. to about 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays, and then Elder Lee is on there at 8 a.m. on Tuesdays and Thursdays. And then the other days, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, you can find the Talking Points talk show at 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. You need to join us. We talk about politics, we talk about the Word of God, we talk about the music industry, and we talk about life challenges. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss. You don't want to miss. All right, and don't forget, we are in business. CLTT, ZRW Productions, LLC, Promotions Advertising Company, which yours truly is the owner and operator. For all your promotional event needs, including advertising, interviews, photographing, and videographing. I'm sorry. Consider booking yours truly, the esteemed evangelist DJ Renee. You will not be disappointed. Additionally, we are available as well to be your mistress of service for your event. Text only. Don't call. Text 985-662-4738. We will respond at our earliest convenience. Okay. For those that are viewing, those are our time and schedules of our programs. Our desire on Mondays, right now, we're doing an evening job, so it will be like a replay or it will be a pre recorded 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Gospel Treasures and Oldies. And on Wednesdays, uh, we got to put the new flyer up. This is not the new flyer because the new flyers we have changed the Wednesdays 4 to 6. 4 to 6 is mix it up Wednesday 4 to 6. 4 to 6. We're gonna have to get the new flyer for you. Also Fridays 4 to 6, 4 to 6, and then Thursdays is 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Named that tune with artist interviews. And Monday through Friday, sometimes we can't make it, but when we can make it, Monday through Friday is 6 a.m. to 7 a.m. We play you nothing but the absolute best in quartet music. Okay. And our Bible study is 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. We study from the National Sunday School lesson, and that is Monday through Friday. And on Saturdays, sometimes we come to you 7 a.m., sometimes we come to you at 10:30. It just depends what's going on. On this Saturday, it will be 10:30 because we do have the event, the second Saturday breakfast. Again, don't forget Talking Punch Talk Show. Y'all, Talking Punch Talk Show is good. It was good today. I even learned some stuff about probably fit me. And we are on TikTok at princess.of.radio and YouTube at ZRW Melodies and Facebook Live. All right. Again, download the TuneIn Radio app. All right, those are our announcements as we get ready to get off of this broadcast. Oh, right on time, finished just in time. Father God, I just thank you for this broadcast. I thank you for what was said. God, I thank you for our guest. God, we ask you that you continue to bless him and continue to keep him doing what he's doing for our community. And we'll be careful to give you all the praise, the honor, and the glory. Until next time, amen, God, and thank you. All right, y'all. I'm out.